Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Empowerment Junction podcast. I'm Olivia Bassi, your host, and today I want to dive into a topic that has the power to truly transform the way we view our lives. Gratitude. In a world that's often chaotic and uncertain, it's easy to get swept up in what we don't have or what's not going right. But gratitude offers us something profound, a mental shift, a way to see abundance where we may have once seen lack. In today's episode, we'll explore how the habit of gratitude can lead to greater fulfillment, happiness, and resilience. And of course, we'll look at how practicing gratitude daily can change our perspectives and lead to a more fulfilling life. Now, I want us to begin by acknowledging the power of small steps. In our last episode, we talked about how ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results through self-belief and persistence. Well, gratitude is one of those small steps that, when practiced consistently, can have extraordinary effects on our mindset and well-being. So, the question is, and I'm sure you've pondered this, that's why you've tuned in. Can giving thanks make you happier? And I truly believe the short answer is yes. Now let's explore this a little bit further. A heartfelt thank you can brighten someone's day, but there's much more to the story. Practicing gratitude can benefit your own health and well-being too. While it's not a substitute for therapy or other interventions for mental health conditions like depression or anxiety, studies have actually shown a strong link between gratitude and a more positive outlook. As well, better sleep, improved physical health, and stronger relationships. So picture this for a minute. That dear friend that you really value. Surprise that friend. If it's a girl, a bunch of flowers, just to say thank you. Maybe for being a good friend, being supportive. I don't know. Or it could just be a personal note to say thank you. Try it. And you will surely feel a buzz of happiness. Now, gratitude comes from the Latin word gratia, meaning grace, graciousness, or gratefulness. According to Dr. Robert Emmons, and excuse my pronunciation because sometimes I tend to pronounce things that perhaps are not pronounced the correct way, is an American, is one of the world's leading gratitude researchers. Gratitude, according to him, has two components. The first one, it's an affirmation of goodness. Emmons explains, we affirm that there are good things in the world, gifts and the benefits we've received. Second, he adds, we recognize that the success of this goodness, are outside of ourselves. We acknowledge that other people or higher powers gave us many gifts, big and small, to help us achieve the goodness in our lives. Now, Dr. Robert Emmons is a professor of psychology at the University of California. and has spent decades studying the science of gratitude. He's written several books, including Thanks, How the New Science of Gratitude Can Make You Happier. So do try and check it out if you can. Through his research, Emmons has shown that gratitude is more than just a feel-good practice. It has real, tangible benefits on our mental and physical health. Now, this recognition of gratitude can be directed toward the present, past, or future. Reflecting on happy memories, appreciating the good in your current life, or anticipating positive things to come. A number of times, I do tend to reflect on the wonderful holidays I've been to, the beaches I've visited, the times I was enjoying myself with my family. They make me feel very grateful. And it helps me think, wow, probably, I know there's probably more, bigger things to come. And I can only say this from personal experience. Yes, there were moments back in years ago when it was just the small things. The fact that, as an example, when I passed my driving test, I was so happy. I said, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And I felt that moment really pivoted me to where I am now, because it steered me towards thinking of life as a gift and really reflecting on what's more to come. Anyway, enough about me. Let's go back to more about gratitude and what Dr. Emmons says. Other studies have explored the relationship between gratitude and happiness. One of his studies had participants keep a gratitude journals. Now, those who focused on things they were thankful for rather than life's irritations experienced a more positive mood, greater optimism about the future, and even better physical health. Now, in a follow-up study, when participants journaled daily instead of weekly, the benefits multiplied. I've spoken about journaling. It's a powerful way for me, sometimes because of some of the things I've been through, the traumas. I felt it was a powerful way of releasing those traumas. But according to this study now, it makes you more happier. So in a way, I can absolutely testify to this, that yes, my happiness has been restored, perhaps from releasing the things that were not for me, writing it down, writing about my experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, the traumatic. So I can only emphasize that you put this in action. Try it. Now, this study says this participant reported feeling happier, more positive, and enjoyed better sleep. Even their significant others noticed the change. Now, this highlights the ripple effect of gratitude, not only improving our own outlook, but also enhancing our relationship with others. Now, another social personality psychologist, Dr. Ann Gordon, found that couples who felt appreciated were more likely to express gratitude in return, building a positive cycle that fostered stronger bonds and commitment. And for me, this is a key moment, because I've already spoken about maintaining people who are for you, uplifting you, and giving to you. Because when you give to somebody else, you reciprocate it. And it becomes a ripple effect, which means you are likely to experience all the good things that life has to offer. Now, I'm not going to speak much of it, but happiness, for me, I think is something that we each have to work on. Some find it in various forms. I find it in various ways. And it's up to you to decide what is the best step for me. What action do I want to put in place? And I think when I talk about gratitude, I feel it's one of those places that a lot of my listeners, and I hope in this community, can be truly grounded in gratitude and really honestly giving, number one, to yourself. Giving to yourself means you loving yourself and surrounding yourself with powerful things that are going to empower you. Giving yourselves means making sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to love you and appreciate you for you. And which means this will have a ripple effect, and this will be reciprocated in many ways. And there'll be an abundance of life. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude fuels the sense of privilege, anchoring us in the present while improving our well-being. Now, I'd like you to just take a moment to write down just one or two things you're grateful for as you listen to this podcast. Just take a moment to reflect on the power of being here, the power of being able to hear. Just that simple action. Just reflect on that. And think about somebody else who might be struggling or hasn't got the capability to hear as well as you. Or maybe, just maybe, from the time they came into this world, the hearing was not there. As a mother, and I'll tell you this, as a mother, once you've had your child, and if you've had a baby, you probably would relate to this. When you have your baby in the hospital, before you leave the hospital, the doctors and all those carers and everybody, the nurses, they come and do a check on the baby. And part of the check is to really assess and look if there's anything that might determine that this baby has not or is. I want to use a term that some might just, and I'll apologize in advance, because I do know in the current world we're in, our sensitivities have been heightened, and rightly so in many ways. So I'm going to apologize now by saying, when you're in hospital as a mother, once you've had your baby, they come and check if there's anything that is identified as a disability. And that check, and I'm apologizing for using that term, for if anybody's offended, and that check means that they want to check that your child has got the eyesight and they can see clearly, and they do something called a hearing test. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they do a hearing test, and all this is noted down. So can you imagine as a parent that you've just had your baby and you think, wow, my beautiful baby, and then the news comes back in to say that your child might struggle to hear or might have a condition that is unusual. So the reason why I'm sharing this is There are moments in life when we expect things to go as we've planned, or just like everybody else, should I say. And when I think back of my sons and when I had them, and my first one was a little bit of a challenge. I had to have an emergency cesarean section. Thankfully, my mom was there. But I remember when the news came back saying that, yeah, everything's gone well. And I took a moment to be grateful, to just think the power of being able to carry a child up to 9 months and then go to the delivery room and have that baby, and they come out and everything is functioning 100%. In a way, it was a very, very highly profound moment, and a moment for me to be just grateful that I've been able to have my baby and they've come out healthy. And that's all that mattered. So I'm asking you, as you're listening now, it's those little things that perhaps maybe you just take for granted. Take some time to write it down. Take a minute or two to reflect and truly look deep inside and think, what am I truly grateful for? It could be just this moment of being able to sit down with your family or your friends. Whatever it is, write it down. Now, one of the great things about gratitude is that it can become part of our daily life without feeling like an additional task on your to-do list. As I've given you that example, I'm going back to the science of Dr. Robert Emmons, who suggests incorporating gratitude into your day simply by noticing opportunities to be thankful. For example, Emmons shares that giving a talk offers him an opportunity to teach more people about his research and experience, for which he is truly grateful. And as you know, one of my favorite spiritual teachers and authors, Eckhart Tolle, offers an insightful perspective on this, as well as acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. I'll repeat that for those at the back. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. This is Eckhart Tolle. Now, Tolle's work reminds us that gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges in life, but about appreciating what is going right. When we choose to focus on the good, we shift our mindset towards abundance rather than scarcity. I beg your pardon. Maya Angelou, again, one of my favorite poets and authors, echoed this sentiment in her own powerful words. She said, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good." Now, Maya Angelou's words remind us that gratitude isn't just for easy moments, but for the hard ones too, as a way to keep us grounded and resilient. Now, there's some different ways you can practice gratitude, and part of this podcast is important to actually reflect on the ways that you can do this. Now, some of the ways I'm sharing today, I'm sharing 4 different ways that I feel have worked for me. The first one is around journaling, gratitude journaling, I'll call it. Now, write down things you're grateful for daily or weekly. Dr. Emmons recommends focusing on past, present, and future aspects of your life. This practice can help shift your mindset to focus on the positive even during difficult times. And this is so true, as I've already detailed to you from my own personal experiences from being a child up to an adult. I took on the task of journaling. At the time I used to do it, it never really used to feel like I'm journaling. I just found that that was the best way to express myself. And I can tell you what has propelled me to this day and built my resilience to be able to stand up and stand for what I believe is right and stand with integrity is really when I look at my past challenges and I can confidently say that I know my future will be even brighter than the past, because at every milestone, every setback and every challenge, I have come out on the other side smiling. But at the time of the challenge, I wasn't smiling. I was distressed. If you want to hear more, please go back and listen to one of my first episodes, which is about standing tall and being resilient in the face of adversity. Now, the second practice I'd encourage in you is savoring walks, or even better, just a light jog. I started jogging when I had my second son, and I realized I needed to keep fit. So I started jogging lightly, and then I slowly transformed into a runner. So you can start jogging, or you can, even better, just if you don't want to jog, I recommend walks. Now, savoring walks has been discovered by researchers in Chicago who found that taking a daily savoring walk can boost happiness. And this is not some makeup stuff. This is stuff that you have to put in action to actually experience it, to actually say, yeah, this works. Don't just sit here and listen to it. Put it in action. Spend 30 minutes a day, 5 minutes. Start with 5, start with 10, and just do it. By appreciating the sights, sounds, and smells around you, you can train your mind to recognize the beauty in everyday moments. I've already told you, one of the powerful ways of really reconnecting sometimes is to really actually feel the ground, feel the air, feel the sight, the sound, smell it, because we are so busy with things that are sometimes they can be distractions. They're just a way to distract you from actually finding out why you're here. So stop and appreciate that tree and think about what trees give us so many benefits. Stop and appreciate it. The third one, gratitude letters. I've already told you about writing letters. Yes, I remember writing letters to so many people who done me wrong. Yes, I've got, and then after a while, obviously, I tear them up or I burn them. But that is a way of releasing. Anyway, back to gratitude letters. I encourage you to write gratitude. In a way, gratitude letters, and even the letters I wrote, right now, I'm smiling and laughing about them because the time I was writing them, sometimes I used to write them when I'm upset, I'm really traumatized, and I'm crying as I'm writing it. And then by the time I tear it up, and now I can actually write those letters and say, thank you for the experiences to those people who really brought me to tears. So, back to gratitude letters. Another researcher from Dr. Martin Seligman shows that writing a letter to thanks to someone who has made a difference in your life can lead to a lasting increase in happiness. Well, my letters were exactly the opposite, but in a way they have increased my happiness because I wrote them and I let go all those pains and all those traumas. So you could use this same approach. You could even read the letter aloud to the person for a deeper connection. For those who obviously you've written a nice letter, I'm not encouraging you to write a nasty letter and go read it to people. Please don't do that. Those are your personal letters. Those are the ones you write. Those are the ones, if you're a believer, you write to God and say, I feel so hurt. I'm just really pained by this. And then those are the ones you release. You release. You take a moment to release it. And you say, and then maybe a year later or months later, whatever your circumstances, you can come back and laugh about it like I am now. And look at it and say, thank you for the experience. So my next one, daily gratitude routine. Incorporate gratitude into your everyday activities, whether it's during your commute, over dinner, or right before bed. My favorite one, a lot of the times, is when I wake up, the first thing, thank you for the day, Father. Thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for this day, Jesus. Before I go to sleep, Father, thank you. Thank you for this meal. Thank you for a lovely day. Thank you for the people I've met. Thank you for the experience, even the ones who have taught me something about it. Thank you. Thank you. Now, the more you create a routine, the easier it will be to remember. And this is from M.J. Ryan, author of Attitudes of Gratitude. Now, you might wonder, how can you or we practice gratitude when life isn't going well? And that's a question and a moment that a lot of the times happens. And we know, you know. We have no control on many things and people. We have no control of other people. That's a fact. Now, the truth is, gratitude doesn't ask us to ignore our struggles. No, it's quite the opposite, in fact. It asks us to acknowledge them whilst still appreciating the good. You acknowledge that, yes, I am struggling, but despite my struggle, the sun is still shining. Despite my struggle, my children are healthy. Despite my struggle, I feel I will overcome this. Now, one of my ways and one of my wise sayings and one of the go-to words of wisdom that I go to sometimes is Marcus Aurelius, who said that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And what he means is, even in the toughest moments, we can choose how we respond. And gratitude helps us reframe our challenges. Am I right? You have to put this in action. Think about it. Now, while we're grateful, we gain perspective. We realize that even in difficult situations, there are lessons, critical lessons to be learned. Strengths we didn't know we had, and people who are there to support us. And a number of times when I'm in this situation and I'm struggling, and I've told you many times, sometimes with people, sometimes with the situation, many times, these various experiences I've had. And sometimes I do my prayers and I'm asking God, I'm saying, what exactly are you trying to teach me from this experience or from this person? Or is there something about me that I'm still struggling? And rightfully so, a number of times, many times, in fact, most of the times, there's always something that I'm still holding on to that God wants me to let go. Because as the saying goes, before He opens new doors, and they're only doors that God can open, He encourages you to close the old doors. Or He helps you to close the old doors. But you've got to respond to that call. You've got to respond. It's the same analogy. If I came into as an example, your wardrobe now, and you've got lots of clothes. You're a hoarder. You hoard lots of clothes. And you've just been promoted to this new role. And part of this new role, you've been given new clothes and shoes and everything. Now you have to let go of that hoarding so you can welcome in the new. So it's quite important at some moments to actually appreciate that, yes, part of being grateful is actually appreciating that, yes, the struggles will be there, but during that struggle, there's something you're learning there. Perhaps there's something you're still holding on to that you need to let go so that the new can come in. Now, as we practice gratitude, we start to see its ripple effect. Yes, yes, yes. Say yes at the back. You know it's true and it's correct. Not only does it boost our sense of well-being, but it also strengthens our connections with others and allows us to experience life with more joy. And this is not about people pleasing where you just go and say, oh, thank you, you're right. No. No, this is you standing in your truth. This is you standing in your power. This is you standing in your purpose. This is you standing in your life. You standing with integrity and saying no to things and people that are not for you. And saying yes so you can allow the people who are for you, who are really genuinely for you, and be grateful to those people. This is how this works. That's where your happiness, when you look internally, this is you actually thinking, my gratitude is actually one of the most powerful ways of thinking. Because gratitude truly comes from within. It's nothing to do with all this external validation. It's nothing to do with the people who are truly grateful, we know. You hardly ever see them publish anything out there or trying to get validation from the public. No. And trust me, I'm at fault here many times. I do it many times. Many times. I go on social media, oh, check me out. Oh, no. In a way, when you're truly grateful, it comes in the heart. And it can be just a silent thank you. But sometimes it's good to show it to the people who have genuinely made a difference to you. And that's how your happiness will truly be tuned in. So it's not about validation. It's about really finding your inner self and really thinking, I want to say thank you because from the bottom of my heart, I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful for the things I have. And that's how you actually start to discover the abundance, how much blessings has been bestowed on you. Because truly the saying, I'd rather be a giver than a taker, is so powerful. Because when you give, I tell you what, and this is what life has taught me, even if it's £10 I've given to a charity, I tell you what, within months, something just happens to me, a tax return. It's like the world really offering you more. And it's a way of giving yourself that abundance. So please take the time to find gratitude. Take the time to practice it. Take the time to truly look deeply inside and see how you can bring this to the forefront. Now, the more we focus on what's going right, the more we invite positivity and abundance into our lives. And I want to encourage you to do this because, again, I really like to lean on this quote from Marcus Aurelius, where he says, waste no time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. By practicing gratitude, we become the kind of people who inspire and uplift others. And that's what we're about here at Empowerment Junction. Gratitude is a form of leadership. Gratitude is a form of blessing. Gratitude is a way to gain abundance. And yes, it brings happiness. It starts from within and flows outwards, impacting our families, our communities, and the world at large. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this. Gratitude is a journey, and it's one worth taking. Each day, we have the choice to focus on the good in our lives, to appreciate the abundance around us, and to share that gratitude with others. It's a small step that leads to extraordinary results. Now, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in today, for joining me on this exploration of gratitude. As always, I deeply appreciate and value each and every one of you, and I truly hope you'll take the time today to reflect on what you're grateful for. Until next time, keep empowering yourself and others through gratitude and positivity. My name is Olivia Bassi, and this is Empowerment Junction, Strategies for Empowered Living. Bye for now.